Dude. Dude! What? I'm up. Finally. What do you want? Aren't you supposed to be working on that, like, video thing? Yeah. Wait, why do you care? I don't know. Okay. Well, since you're awake, let's do some shots. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. What are you doing? Ugh. You're out of hot water again? Hey. How's it going? No. Next album would be Adele's 19 album. Now, I probably should have gone with 21, but 19 is their album that I really first got the first glimpse of Adele. And iTunes had a free track of the week, and her track, Hometown Glory, was a free track of the week that week, way back when. And I downloaded it, loved it, but then I didn't really hear much about her until later, and then the album was available on iTunes. I listened to it, loved the entire thing. And that's when I really, really got into Adele, and then her second album, 21, came out, and everybody loves her now, which is awesome because she's sweet and she's an amazing singer, love her to death. The songwriting on 19 is just simple, but it still has substantial feeling to it, like on the track Crazy For You. It's just her on a guitar, and it's great. I just love it to death. Big album for me. Next one would be Sufjan Stevens' Age of Odds. It's a stereotypical Sufjan Stevens. Not always the most accessible artist, but he can be, and I really like his mixture of like choir in some of the songs, and then there's traditional just instrumentation to them, and then it blends in with this programming of computers and electronic music, and it just meshes really well. There's a 25-minute track on it. Most people would probably be put off by, but I love it. It's that long, but it doesn't really feel like it's that long, I guess, in my opinion, but that's just me. But the big song on that album that I enjoy is Now That I'm Older. Kind of has this dreamy feel to it, these arpeggios and floating, and there's a bit of reverb on his voice. It's just really good. I really enjoy that song. The next one I struggled a lot with because I love this artist in particular. That artist would be Alanis Morissette. I'm a huge fan of hers. I've been a huge fan of hers for a long time. But the album that I most just love to listen to from beginning to end as a just full cohesive unit would be the Supposed Former Infatuation Junkie. Totally self-indulgent. It doesn't have a lot of the same kind of popular music, the typical album feel to it. There's a lot of good, like, radio-friendly songs like Thank You and stuff like that, but then there's these all bizarre storytelling aspects to it, and I just really just enjoy it so much, and it's full of her typical little idiosyncrasies that make her Alanis that I really enjoy. Big track on that would probably be That I Would Be Good. Love the storytelling. It's just, I can relate to it because I know that feeling of wishing that I could find someone who would enjoy me for who I am, that sort of thing. The next album is The World in My Eyes by Singer Sen. She's a vocalist out of China. Had I not been a part of this music group on LiveJournal, yeah, weird, I know, that's still a thing. I would have never heard about her, but I found out about her on there, and there was like an EP that came out a while back, and I first heard a couple of the tracks on there. Loved it. She released a full album last year that I just found out about. Found her again. Love the album. It's bizarre because I don't speak a word. I don't speak a lick of Mandarin, but it's just beautiful. She has a 3.5 octave range voice. Like, holy crap. That's awesome. It's pretty substantial. But she has these shrillest highs, and she has these crazy, like, low alto notes that it's just nuts. And she has a mixture of like these super poppy songs that are fairly accessible to most people, and then these other ones that I would assume tell a lot more stories. I've googled some of the lyrics and tried to find some translations of the tracks that aren't in English. There's a track like Asura, and it's just this crazy like kind of progressive rock sort of thing going on with it. And I'll talk more about that later when I actually do a full album review of that, which is what I'm planning to do next. Anyway, yeah, it's a great album. Big song on that one would be Fairy. It's got this ethereal feel to it, and I'll talk more about that later. Where was it? Next album would be Lungs by Florence and the Machine. Don't really need to talk much about this one. I love Florence Welch. I love her voice, her amazing stage presence. Found her album, You Got the Love, was the first song that I heard of hers. I was kind of like, I just passed it off. I didn't really think much about it when I first heard it, and then I heard it again, and something about it just clicked in my head, and I love that whole album. Like many of these albums, I can listen to it from beginning to end and just enjoy every second of it. The big song on that album that just I can listen to endlessly would be Drumming Song, obviously. My next album on this list is Gregory Douglas. His album Up and Away. No, it's just Up and Away. He has amazing piano skills. He's an amazing songwriter. He just tells these crazy stories from, I think, from personal experience to the point of view of other individuals, and he just has a great way of describing situations. There's a lot of tension to him, and the kind of a little bit of grittiness to him, but they're still just really well written. My favorite song on that album would probably be Up and Away, the title track and the final track on the album. It's just kind of this flowy piano bit that's just really nice. I don't know. This is gonna be a terrible video. Next album on my list would be In Rainbows by Radiohead. Now this might not be the conventional choice because it's one of their later albums, and I love the older stuff too. But going back to the cohesiveness of these certain albums that I really enjoy, I can listen to this whole entire album just from beginning to end, and I kind of picture myself going on a road trip and having this being the background music to it. I don't know, I just really enjoy it, and that's what it kind of puts me into the kind of mood for. So it just has it's good like chill out vibes to them, but then there's these really elaborate rhythms to it, and I just love it a lot. And the big track on that album I also mostly enjoy is Reckoner. Relatively new addition to this list would be Kesha's Warrior. Now, I know probably what you're thinking, it's garbage, whatever, and had I talked to myself like 4 years ago, I would have probably shot myself in the face for choosing this, but I love Kesha. She's ridiculous, but she doesn't take herself too seriously, and this album is just fantastic from beginning to end. It's just pure like poppy bliss, basically, was what I wrote down here. Fun to dance to, but it also has like a lot more of a heart to it. I don't know, the track Wonderland just tells a great story. And it's low-key, it's kind of guitar-driven, and nothing super dancey, whatever, but then it goes back into these super dancey songs like I Only Want to Dance With You, I think it's what it's called, Supernatural, Die Young, all those songs, and it just meshes really together, and not exactly thrilled with the Iggy Pop tracks, but I don't know, that's just my personal opinion. There's nothing wrong with him, I don't know, I just don't like his voice. But the big track on that album that I do enjoy would be Wonderland, because of its storytelling. You can hear her voice, and it's not these overproduced stuff. It's just nice. It's got that kind of road trip feel to it that I enjoy. Another album on this list is the I Think You Know EP by Julie Nunes. She's a big YouTube sensation. I found her a couple years ago, back when Into the Sunshine blew up. Love her. I've seen her in concert. She's a sweetheart, goofy, and she plays the ukulele, and go look her up. She's fantastic. The EP was only 5 tracks, and it's short and sweet, but it's just nice by itself. This album doesn't need to be like a big 12-track album. I can listen to the track through the floorboards hundreds of times. There's a middle part in there where they programmed her voice and the voices of the duo called Pomplamoose. They all work together on this album, and they programmed it so these like 3 different voices blow up into this sound of like 100-voice choir, and it's just phenomenal. It builds and builds, and I love that album. And the last on this list would be The Fame Monster by Lady Gaga. I enjoy her a lot. I'm not as big of a fan of her as I used to be, but I still thoroughly enjoy her music, and a lot of the work that she does as a cohesive unit. Again, I'm a big fan of The Fey Monster because all those tracks I can listen to from beginning to end without skipping any of them. I just enjoy it. It's fun. They have like the dance bits to it and kind of the dark electronic stuff to it, and I just really love it. The one track that I love the most would be Teeth, and that's kind of the one that stands out because it isn't really like anything else. So that's my list of albums that I really enjoy. Hope you enjoyed. I don't know if this is something interesting or what, or if this is just a complete jumbled, clustered mess of crap. So let me know what you think. Comment. I will talk to you guys later once I figure out how to do all this and I edit this video, which one might actually be a while. But yeah, anyway. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this wasn't too boring. Have a good night. Have a good day. Good afternoon. Whatever time you're watching this. Okay, bye.